It's your boy Doug 60 Gang. December 23rd is 2 more days before Christmas. Tomorrow's Christmas Eve. Good morning to those who woke up today, December 23rd. Happy birthday to those born on today, December 23rd. And my condolences go out to those who did not wake up today. R.I.P.
Everybody's different. Yeah.
What are we going
Oh,
to do?
yeah. We're going to have a good Christmas because I'm making sure of it.
Oh, yeah?
You're going to love Europe. Oh, my God.
Does it involve,
You ain't gonna be
does it involve clothes on or off?
Oh, I don't know. Are you recording?
Hello? Did you get my bike? Hello? This is what happens. I ask a question. I get no answers. Kamala, did you get my bike? She done put me on pause already. Like I was saying, we're the day before Christmas Eve. I hope everyone's getting all their presents in order, and hope Santa Claus stop in on all of y'all. Not all of y'all, because some of y'all don't need shit for Christmas. Good morning to my mom. I hope you figure out a routine. Maybe you can walk to the end of the road and walk back. Walk to the end of the road and walk back. Or you can go in the circle by your mailbox. Try walking in that circle, like start off like 2 times and then work your way up 3 times in that circle where your mailbox at, Mom. Just go 1, 2, done for the day. And tomorrow, 1, 2, done for the day. And just get your routine. Try to get up to 5. Maybe that'd be a good goal for you for 2025. Five times around the park and the circle with your mailbox at. Just walk around it. Y'all, I have to motivate my mom. She's highly a strong woman, but she's her worst enemy. Just like me, you have to motivate people who are hard to motivate. So me, I get up and y'all know my routine. I do my 10 laps, 10 push-ups, 10 pull-ups. Now I got the 10 crunches. That's what I do now to keep myself motivated. Now I got to do squats because I'm starting to feel a little numbness in my knees. So I got to do squats now. And yeah. You got to do something for yourself these days, 60 Gang, especially when you get 60 years old and up. I mean, all these little aches and pains that they existed when you were young. Now they're showing up. They're more prominent as you get older. Aches and pains. Like, I remember one time I was like 16, and I was on the basketball team, and I went up for a rebound, and some guy undercut me, and I landed on my hip. Sure, I got right back up and kept on playing ball. But baby, when I got into my mid-50s, I felt that pain from way back when I was 17 or 16, I think it was. The exact spot that I fell on the basketball court. So all these little aches and pains that you don't feel when you're young, they come creeping up when you get in the 50s and 60s. And you have to stay on top of your aches and pains. And the way I look at pain is that there's a thin line between pain and feeling good. So the more you exercise, the more you get on the feeling good side. The less you exercise, the more the pain. And this is a back and forth battle with good versus evil. Pain is evil, good is good, good is good. So I'm sitting here waiting to pick up some parts today. I've got to go to Riverdale, Georgia. Then I got to go to Athens, Georgia. I just added a call in Monroe, Georgia. And then I'm going to go down to Atlanta. I forgot the name of that area, but it's Atlanta. I'm going downtown Atlanta. And I'm going to take you guys with me. So It's 8:28 now. I better get in line. I gotta pick up these parts and I'll be right back. I have to get my parts. And I gotta check for one more thing. I gotta make sure I got this, I got a new customer. I gotta make sure I got the part for them before I leave. Should have it in here. Busy man, busy man. Sure, cause I gotta stop. Take care of them. Let's see. Should be in here. Always replenish. It's a 2001 T. So yeah, I got one. I gotta reorder that. Now we're on our way to Riverdale to the Georgia. All these parts here. And I got customers that just...
You have a message.
Yeah. That's a confirmation. Okay, let's roll. Got something nice. Woo. It's coming too. I ain't even had no coffee. We call it a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I got 5 minutes right here. Ooh. I'll find somewhere. I'm going to Riverdale, so. Big day for me. Big day. Okay, we're gonna make this right. We're gonna get out here. We're going to Riverdale. And I know for sure that, let's see, 316 is a mess. Yep, I see the red already. Trying to avoid a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You have a message.
Good God. I got people saying that when they hear my little ringtone now. Everybody be listening. Good God. All right. It's gonna be a big day. Mr. V, my competitor. This is my competitor in the little Toyota right there. Mr. V. He's always on top of my advertising. When I put my advertisement in on Google and I go and check, he's always on top of mine. So he's paying more money to be on Google than I am. Because it's Mr. V, then you scroll down and you get to me. Now he got this whole car. Got this whole car wrapped. It's the man. What's going on?
Hey Douglas, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Are you gonna be working today, tomorrow?
I'm out here today.
All right. What area are you in?
Riverdale, Athens, Monroe, West
Okay.
Atlanta, East Atlanta, like University of Georgia.
All right. Okay. Well, let's see what we have here. Marietta, is that too far?
Marietta, I would. What is it, by the way?
It's a refrigerator, side-by-side bottom freezer, Kenmore Elite. It says it's making sounds and it's not cooling. 9 to 12.
Ew, I'm not going to be there 9 to 12. Can I do 8 a.m. in the morning? I'll work Christmas
Tomorrow?
Eve. Yeah, 8 a.m.
Let's can do tomorrow, 8 to 10 a.m. Okay, that's one. Let's see what else we got for you.
Okay.
Give me a moment, because I just want to give you the gist on what we have. That way we can get it down and see what you can and can't do.
Okay. So
all right, so we got Marietta.
So what we're doing is set me up for tomorrow. Because I'm kind of booked
Yeah,
right now. Go ahead.
Cool, then. If you can, we'll call the customers and set them up for tomorrow. It's not a problem.
What's the next
one I got?
Go ahead.
Next one I got is Fayetteville. This is a dishwasher refrigerator that's leaking, 9 to 11.
Okay. And that's the last one, or you got another one?
No, I got 5.
5? What are the cities?
Well,
what are the cities?
Okay, next one is Talking Rock. I don't know where that is.
Never heard of that. Talking Rock.
Okay, the other one is Lithonia.
Lithonia? Okay, we'll take Lithonia. What is that in Lithonia?
That one is a washer, Kenmore Elite. Says it's overflowing. Laundry room is flooded between 3 and 6.
Okay, we'll take that one for tomorrow.
For tomorrow, same time frame?
Yeah.
Or earlier?
So Marietta, and then right now Marietta's 8. Then that'll be 10 to 12.
10 or 12.
Yeah, I go Marietta, Lithonia. What's another city?
Okay, and the last one that I have is in Union City. Washer top load Whirlpool control panel does not work, shakes too much, won't close on balance. 5 to 8 p.m.
5 to 8 p.m. How about 10 to 12? How about 10 to 12 tomorrow, and then 12 to 2 for Lithonia?
Okay, 12 to 2 Lithonia, 10 to
12 Union City, because I'll be Marietta, Union City, Lithonia.
Okay, 10 to 12. All right, perfect. I'm going to call these customers. So Talking Rock, you don't even know. I don't even know. It's the first time I've seen that. But all right, thank you, sweetheart. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Have a great day. Take care.
Took care of that. Who called? Who I missed? What happened? Okay. All right. Now, I'm ready. Y'all see my number? Call me. Woo. I have to be driving on a settled stomach, man. You guys know what I'm talking about. See, man, every time in the morning, I put my clothes on and get ready to go out the door. As soon as I get ready to go out the door, wham! I gotta take my clothes off. Every time. Let's do it. Do it. That's right. Move out the way. It's Monday. We're gonna go this way and stay away from the crowd. Turn this off. It's 30 degrees outside, I'm telling you. But the sun is hot. I don't even have the heat on, y'all. The sun is coming in here. It's like, I don't know what the temperature is on the inside. It doesn't say, but I'm feeling at least 70 some odd degrees, you know what I'm saying?
Rebuilding the family by rebuilding
The man.
the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Good morning. How y'all? Welcome to the show. And Merry Christmas. And I believe tomorrow year has gone by
So fast.
like 90 going north. And I believe it was a rush to get Donald Trump in. God was trying to save us before it was like absolutely too late. I'm thinking that's why it went by so fast. I could be wrong, but I don't have any other explanation. You can get involved by calling 888-77-5377. 7 Jesse. And brand new biblical question. And it is a doozy. I know I've been saying it all the time. Jesse, you said the last one was a doozy. I did, and it was. It was a Mamma Mia doozy. This is a doozy on top of a doozy. Brand new biblical question. Do you love your male and female problems? Do you love your male and female problem? That's a good image behind that question too. Nice. Do you love your male and female problems? Amazing question. We dealt with last week's question yesterday in fellowship. Jesus said, I and my Father are one. What does that mean? What did that mean? Check out yesterday's fellowship if you were not watching it live or there. And the people who were there, oh my God.
Speed track.
Stay with it, folks. I don't care what happened along the road. Don't deviate. Don't become sidetracked by it. Whatever happened along the road, let it happen. But you stay on that straight and narrow path. It was an amazing fellowship yesterday. Check it out. rebuildingtheman.com/church. rebuildingtheman.com/church. You can podcast if you did not watch it live or you want to rewatch. It was amazing. It was more than 2 hoops and a holler. We have every way that you can watch and support the show. Missed it on JesseLeePeterson.com.
I gotta let the advertisements go by, guys.
And if you're out and about, running around, whatever, Christmas shopping, setting a lady on fire on a train in New York, and then stepping off and running to death. And reportedly, a Italy can handle it, and that's how you show your future. Or if you
This is 54 Trickham Road. It's gonna get me out to 70 State Road 78. State Road 78 is gonna connect in Stone Mountain. So I'm headed towards Stone Mountain. Once I connect to 78 West, that's gonna take me to Interstate 285 south to Riverdale. Got 46 miles from here.
JLP app. It's Monday. Rainy days and Mondays always get me down. Rainy days and Mondays always get me down. It's Monday. And for those who might not know, Mondays, we say all calls, but Mondays is
Women.
and will always be Female Monday. All my life, I had to fight.
I like to make men uncomfortable.
All my life I had to fight.
Let women take over.
Some of us believe that women are getting paid less than men.
I proudly say I'm a feminist. Thank you.
Deep in their soul, they want to be home with those babies. We've been lied to for so long.
Amazing. So the carpenter saying that some rainy days and Mondays always get me down. And the Anchor Baby says that was his that's his trauma song. Did y'all catch the Anchor Baby on the Roseanne Barr show? The American Anchor Baby on Roseanne Barr show. Check it out. Check it out. If you didn't see it yet, it's amazing. So, a quick reminder. Amazing fellowship yesterday. There's none like it in the whole wide world. And none like it. And to the men and women who were there yesterday and watching it online, or those who may have missed it, you can podcast the show. But I do want to warn you, it's a spiritual battle. And evil within every human being don't want to let go. It does not want to leave your body, because in order for it to exist and function, if you call it functioning, it must live in human beings. And human beings have no good in them at all, zero good. You can look up and down the human, up and down, side by side, left and right. You're not going to find any good in human being. And you can say, Jesse, you're wrong. There is good in human being. And I would say, oh, okay, find it. And you will look and you will not find it. But you can overcome evil with good. So James said you did not catch the Anchor Baby on Friday on the show. You didn't do your show Friday, Anchor Baby?
This is true.
That's what happens when you do Roseanne. You become too important.
You're just too big for my britches.
That's for sure. What a baby!
What a mess.
But anyway, evil is running your life. You are not in charge. You have never made one decision in your whole lifetime, and you never will. But because you worship evil, you think you're God, you think you make decisions. And evil is the same all over the world in every human being. And it makes you do the things, think, and do the things that you wouldn't ordinarily do. And they prevent you from doing the things that you would do that are good. Amazing, huh? Some of you may have heard about this. A car plows through a Christmas party in Christmas market in Germany, somewhere in Germany. I believe it was Magdeburg, Germany. I may be wrong. This is from ABC News. At least 5 people were killed including a 9-year-old boy, and hundreds were injured when a car plowed through a Christmas market in Magdeburg, Germany, according to the police. Watch this from ABC News.
Good morning, Gio. Yeah, now we can show you the view right down into that Christmas market, the scene of that attack. The suspect using that car to drive up in this direction, right through this area. You can imagine it would have been packed with families on Friday night. Police saying the attack lasted just 3 minutes, and this morning a German official confirming the identity of the suspect. This morning, a sea of tributes to the killed and injured in that horrific car ramming attack in Magdeburg, Germany on Friday night, as we learn new details about the suspected driver. A German official confirming to ABC News that 50-year-old Taleb al-Abdelmohsen, who moved to Germany from Saudi Arabia in 2006, appeared in court on Saturday. In a statement, German police said a judge had placed the suspect in pre-trial detention for the alleged murder of 5 people, including a 9-year-old boy, as well as multiple accounts of attempted murder and grievous bodily harm. On Saturday, Germany's interior minister saying the suspect had, quote, Islamophobic views, and a local prosecutor confirming a social media account believed to belong to the suspect is a part of the investigation. It includes posts that engage in conspiracy theories and unfounded claims about the German authorities.
Amazing. If that is true, isn't it amazing that white countries allow these people to come into their countries and they turn around and kill them? Think about that. And Germany is messed up with illegal aliens. So I'm told. So I am told. Everybody and their mama allowed in that country. And they are doing to the Germans exactly what they are doing to the Americans, killing them in your own land. You let them in, your government let them in, and a lot of you agree with it. And they kill you. Oh, but you feel sorry for the illegal aliens. We're supposed to let them in. That's Christian-like. What a sad, pathetic idea. And this guy reportedly was a doctor, 50-some-year-old doctor, in a country that allowed him to come in, and he showed them, according to this report, appreciation by killing them. Allahu Akbar, people. In the same way that the foreigners are coming into America and doing the same identical thing. But you don't want the borders closed. Joe Biden's selling the material to make sure, or trying to make sure the president doesn't close the border. And they were saying that the motive is still unclear. And here's a nurse who was there. Watch this from ABC News.
German officials saying a motive is still unclear, but said the suspect's psychological state is being examined. At the scene of the attack, I met Shirin, a local nurse who was at the Christmas market with her young daughter when that car plowed through the crowd. She performed CPR on some of the survivors.
We felt the car, it was so fast, it was so, we felt the hate in the car, and then we got outside and saw the car rampage over the whole way, took everything with him.
Amazing. White people are so nice. They're so nice. They set themselves up to be killed. And then they cry. And then they cry. Isn't that amazing? There's no Christianity in that at all. Christianity has been weakened. It's so weak, it has no flavor. It's hard to find a Christian today that has perfect peace. It's like looking for a needle in a haystack. It wasn't always that way, though. It is today. The Christians love to feed the hunger and go on TV and promote it. Their greatest joy comes from promoting the fact that they feed the hunger. It ain't about feeding the hunger, it's about getting attention from feeding the hunger. And they call it good. So we have an image of this guy that was allegedly accused of doing this. We have an image, right? Let's see what it looks like. See, that look like an Allahu Abba person. A 50-year-old, allegedly a doctor in Germany, and this is what he does. Who do you blame? The Germans for letting him in? Feeling sorry for him? Or the man that committed the crime? Who do you blame? Your husband, you can take it down now. Your husband for beating you? Your wife for beating you? Or you? Who do you blame? He was reportedly wanted by Saudi Arabia on terrorism and human trafficking charges. But Germany gave him asylum and refused to send him back, according to Wikipedia. Just think about that. According to Wikipedia, this guy
You have a message.
was reportedly wanted by Saudi Arabia on terrorism and human trafficking charges. But Germany gave him asylum and refused to send him back. The Saudi Arabia government warned Germany's security authorities 3 times between November 23 and September 24 as a dangerous potential threat. That's according to Wikipedia. That's exactly what's happening in America right now to the Americans. I saw a story this morning of I don't think I have it here, but I thought I had it, but I don't. A story where in New York, USA, according to the report, an illegal alien was on one of the trains there in New York, and there was a lady sleeping on the train, and he set the woman on fire. And then I saw it looked like he stepped off the plane and sat on the train, sat there and watched her burn to death while she was sleeping. And they found out it was an illegal alien. This is from ABC 7. A person of interest is in custody and charges are pending after a woman was set on fire and killed aboard a subway train in Brooklyn on Sunday morning. What's this?
The NYPD tonight is calling cameras now in every subway car a game changer. MTA video taken in an F train at Stillwell Avenue captured the terrifying crime this morning.
It offered detectives immediately answers to questions that they had. What happened?
Officers had seen and smelled smoke and came running over.
What they saw was a person standing inside the train car, fully engulfed in flames.
They got the flames out with a fire extinguisher, but the woman died at the scene. The video also offered clear pictures of the man who had used a lighter to set fire to her clothes.
What'd they do? They could have pulled him out there. What the? Why they pull him out there?
Also offered clear pictures of the man who had used a lighter to set fire to her clothes while she may have been sleeping and stayed and watched.
We asked the media to broadcast those images far and wide so we could use the viewing public as a force multiplier. And New Yorkers came through again.
A group of high school students spotted the man in the photo on another train and called 911.
Our transit sergeant responded to that location, met with these young high school students, looked inside the train and saw an individual that he recognized from wanted flyers that we got out earlier.
The suspect was taken into custody. Police say he's a citizen of Guatemala in New York since 2018.
Amazing, huh? Think about this. Smoke on this. I know it's kind of early, but for the drug addict, you can smoke on it. Think about this. Our government, the USA government, allow these people to come in by open the borders wide open and say, come on in. And they're coming in and they're creating all this these type of problems for Americans. And then the same government come back and pretend they're trying to save you from it. That same government. It's like your wife beat you up and now you're all bruised up. And then she come back and want to put alcohol on it to heal the wound. It's a spiritual battle, folks. I never, ever, ever, but never imagined that this could happen in America. I just didn't, I didn't understand human heart at the time, so I just didn't think that this can happen in America. This guy's, according to a report, an illegal alien set this lady on fire, stepped off the train, had a seat, and watched her burn to death. And he's just cool and calm and collected about it. Thank you, government, for what you've done to America. And thank you, voters who voted for the government because you feel sorry for the people, too. And you voted for them that they may come in and kill you. Amazing, huh? What do you mean, Guatemala, James? Oh. He's been in New York since he was living in a city-run shelter, that's according to ABC News. And they call him a Guatemala citizen. What the? If ever we needed you, Lord,
we need you now.
We need you now. It's going to get worse before it gets better. Christ came not to condemn the world, but to overcome the world. You can overcome the world if you want to. Most people love their misery. I hear so many people telling me now they love their hell. They love their misery. So they don't want to overcome. Lacey is a first-time caller out of New Orleans. Lacey, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse.
I mean, out of Oklahoma, not New Orleans. Hey, Lacey. My bad.
Hey, Jesse. It's okay. I just wanted to thank you for all your wisdom. I went and forgave my parents about a week ago. Traveled to Mississippi, and I forgave them. And it's kind of crazy because I forgave my dad first because I told him I needed to talk to him later because I saw him first.
Right.
And he was like, come on, let's go to Sam's. I got to get gas. And so I was like, all right, cool. So I get in the truck with him and we go to get gas. And he, on the way telling him, I'm explaining to him, like, you know, I'm sorry for resenting you growing up because I remember I was really angry with him a lot as a kid. And so I was explaining to him, you know, that I knew that it wasn't, you know, his fault, you know, me hating him. And he taught me the Bible growing up, but as I was growing up, I didn't realize that, you know, what he was telling me, it stuck with me later. You know, I was angry at him for telling me during the time, but I didn't understand why he had so much anger at me, because several times whenever I would do something, you know, my mom would tell him, and he would just overreact, and then he would tell me he was sorry, and it kind of created like this, like, okay, you know the Bible, but how come
Yeah.
You're still so angry with me a lot. And it's kind of crazy because whenever we pulled up at the gas station, Sam's, he has a lot of road rage. It was a rainy day, and as we were pulling in, somebody else pulled into the same pump, and he started cussing them out and threw it in reverse. We spun tires like in the cartoons, and we drifted around Sam's parking lot. And I was like, oh, wow, this is so crazy in real time. Here I am, forgiving you for, all this. And it's like, you're getting angry. And he couldn't hear me, so he asked me about it later. And we talked about it again later. And it kind of went on, where he was like,
a campaign trail, what do you do? And it drives people crazy, but they just say, new audience, I got to give the same message every single time. And sometimes you carry the message and you go, wow, it's the same speech. Since the president won, he's putting new things into all his remarks, whether it's the Patriot Awards or what we saw yesterday in front of Charlie Kirk's group.
Yeah. I think part of it is like when you're running for office, you want to be very consistent and tell people this is what I'm going to do. Now he's won. It's not like he's making some giant crazy turn here. He's just trying to maybe put some meat on the bones of what the agenda is going to be now that he's got the power soon of governance.
Let's watch a little bit from what he said yesterday. Watch this.
So we got the highest vote ever for a Republican candidate. We won by 36 points with young people. That never happens. A Republican loses by 36 or 40. So I'm going to have to start thinking about TikTok. We did go on TikTok, and we had a great response with billions of views, billions and billions of views. They brought me a chart, and it was a record, and it was so beautiful to see. And as I looked at it, I said, maybe we got to keep this sucker around a little while, On my first day back in the Oval Office, I will sign a historic slate of executive orders to close our border to illegal aliens and stop the invasion of our country. And on that same day, we will begin the largest deportation operation in American history, and we will create the new Department of Government Efficiency headed by Elon Musk. And no, he's not taking the presidency. I like having smart people. They're on a new kick. Russia, Ukraine, all the different hoaxes. And the new one is President Trump has ceded the presidency to Elon Musk. No, that's not happening. But Elon's done an amazing job. Isn't it nice to have smart people that we can rely on? But no, he's not going to be president, that I can tell you. And I'm safe, you know why? He can't be. He wasn't born in this country. Has anyone ever heard of the Panama Canal? Because we're being ripped off at the Panama Canal like we're being ripped off everywhere else. When President Jimmy Carter foolishly gave it away for $1. During his term in office, it was solely for Panama to manage and not for China or any other country to manage. It was given to Panama and to the people of Panama, but it has provisions. You got to treat us fairly, and they haven't treated us fairly. If the principles, both moral and legal, of this magnanimous gesture of giving are not followed, then we will demand that the Panama Canal be returned to the United States of America in full, quickly, and without question.
So those are some of the things I was talking about. So he's talking about an Iron Dome for the country. I want Greenland from Denmark. Mm-hmm. And by the way, I want the Panama Canal. So I asked the brain room about the Panama Canal. They said there's no proof that China owns any portion of it. We use 72% of all traffic is American. And the prices did go up 15%, nearly $5 billion over the last year. But they say it's because of low water levels, and they have to slow down the amount of traffic that goes through. But you know what? Rattle their cage, make them justify it, and let's see if we can get these prices down. After all, we are a frequent customer.
I do think part of this, though, is national security. You think of Greenland, for example. The Arctic is a major, I think, battle area for the future in terms of who controls the Arctic. And I think the same applies to the Panama Canal. China may not control it, but they, my understanding is, have some very strategic interests in that area. So part of this, I think, is Trump starting a negotiation with, we want the whole thing back. And then the Panamanians might say, well, hang on, no, but let's have this conversation. Trump just announced yesterday his ambassador to Denmark, which owns Greenland. Can you imagine having that job now, or being the ambassador to Panama? You're going to have a busy opening few weeks here.
I think it's one of the PayPal mafia. It's Ken Howry, ambassador to Denmark. So I think he's probably like, good, I want something
I'm sure
to do.
he put that
action.
person there with this exact thing in mind, because he posted on True Social, for purposes of national security and freedom through the world, the United States of America feels that the ownership and control of Greenland is an absolute necessity. This is something that he brought up during his first term in office in Denmark, which, I mean, Greenland is a sovereign nation, but under the Kingdom of Denmark's authority, I guess.
Sovereignty, they're within that
It's an
kingdom.
autonomous nation.
Yes.
Anyway, Donald Trump was mocked for saying it, but he clearly has a plan for why he wants to control Greenland or take it under the United States' umbrella. And one of the things I'm just pure speculation here, is he is talking a lot about how to get criminal illegal immigrants out of our country. And if countries like Venezuela that we don't have relations with won't take them back, maybe he'll build a facility in Greenland and ship them there. That would for sure be a deterrent for people to come to the country if they know that they're going to Greenland.
Very cold.
Yeah.
Put it this way. I think we get, my prediction, we get it.
Get it?
I think we get Greenland. My prediction,
It's huge.
What's today? To December 23rd.
Yeah.
December 23rd, 2024, I believe by the end of his term, we'll get Greenland.
Okay, so
because he loves real estate.
Yeah. Mark it down.
Right, and we'll see. And I'll tell you what, I'm wondering what Denmark needs from us.
Or I wonder what Greenland has to say about this. I don't know how they would feel about
They
it.
do have a government.
A couple fun facts about Greenland. Do you know the population of it? 56,699 people. And that's because 75% of it is covered in a sheet of ice. And the capital city is Nuuk.
Really?
Yeah.
I would never have picked Nuuk.
N-U-U-K, right?
That's right.
Right. So Iceland's nicer than Greenland. And the Vikings are responsible.
Yeah, Iceland is greener than Greenland.
Which is weird.
Greenland is icier than Iceland.
The way I learned it, and a lot of times things don't come out correct, but I remember people told me that the Vikings, looking to throw off visitors, would name Iceland so no one would come, it's nice, and they named Greenland.
I think
Greenland.
that's probably true.
You have a message.
Brain room.
Where's Leif Erikson when you need him?
No. Well, at least, yeah.
I know.
I would say.
I bet you there's truth to that. I remember learning that in school.
Right? Those are the types of things that you expect on a news network. I bet you there's some truth to that. Carly definitely trying to back
my speculation on why Trump wants Greenland could be totally off.
Right.
No, as soon as you start saying, like, this might not come out right, but I'm just like holding on to the couch. Right. What's going to happen?
I should say that for radio.
All right, so we've got a lot to cover here this morning, starting with this Fox News alert. A man under arrest after allegedly setting fire to a sleeping subway passenger in New York City. Just awful. That woman was killed. Sources telling us that the suspect is in the United States illegally.
Todd Pyro joins us now. Todd.
This story is incomprehensible. A migrant from Guatemala arrested in connection with the death of a woman who was lit on fire and burned to death on that New York City subway train. High-level NYPD source telling Fox News Digital he entered the U.S. illegally in 2018. We do want to warn you, the video we're about to show is graphic and disturbing. According to the NYPD, around 7:30 yesterday morning, the suspect approached a sleeping woman on a train and lit her clothing on fire with a lighter. The video shows the suspect then sitting on a bench afterward and watching the unidentified woman burn to death inside that subway car. The suspect was apprehended after 3 high schoolers recognized him from images released by the NYPD. Officers finding a lighter in the suspect's pocket when he was arrested.
At this hour, I am pleased to announce that a short time ago, alert NYPD transit officers took a person of interest into custody. I want you to know that this apprehension was another in what has become a series of joint efforts involving different crimes between the police and the public we serve.
New York Governor Kathy Hochul, though, getting backlash for this post just hours after the woman was set on fire on that subway. Quote, I took action to make our subways safer for the millions of people who take the trains each day. Since deploying the National Guard to support the NYPD and MTA safety efforts and adding cameras to all subway cars, crime is going down and ridership is going up. Again, Kathy Hochul posting that just hours after this horrific incident. Back over to you guys.
I mean, I don't know if they did a timing tweet or something like that, but it was one of the most idiotic statements ever. And if she didn't retract it right away, maybe she's proud of it, or she has no staff at all.
Oh, and a man was two men. Thank you so much, Todd. 2 men were also stabbed on a subway in Queens. They were slashed, and one of them died. The 26-year-old survived, but a 36-year-old man died yesterday as well.
But again, you need the public help to help guy, right? You have 3 high school age guys who spot this. They tell them. They shut the train down. In come the cops. They don't know what they're going to be facing, and they shut it down the middle, and they're able to wrangle this guy, who has to be different type of deranged.
And you say bravo to the kids for spotting him. See something, say something. They did it, and then he's in handcuffs, which is fine, but of course it doesn't help the victim. And I think a lot of Americans and New Yorkers look at this and say, they got the guy, but he should have never been here in the first place, in the country illegally, according to our sources. And we had gotten reports that there was at least something of a track record criminally, right?
At least
in
one.
another state, at least one prior arrest.
In Arizona.
And of course, he's hanging out in New York, a sanctuary jurisdiction. And, you know, Kathy Hochul was out there quoting the Statue of Liberty poem and all this stuff, justifying these brutal policies for years. Now she has this brutal tweet. I mean, this goes right back to her doorstep and other so-called leaders in this state.
Yeah. And here's Tom Homan, incoming border czar, on all of this. Watch.
This is another example of an illegal alien killing American citizens. It's almost a daily occurrence now. You know, because historic number of criminal aliens walking the streets, because of this administration's policy in sanctuary jurisdictions and lax immigration enforcement. ICE has their hands tied. Secretary Mayorkas have given them priorities that they can't even go arrest an illegal alien anymore unless he's convicted of a serious crime. Then maybe they can arrest him. Under President Trump, we had historic lows in illegal immigration. We had the most secure border in a lifetime. They came into office and purposely, by design, unsecured the border, wrote 90 executive orders abolishing everything we did to give us the most secure border in a lifetime. This wasn't an accident. This wasn't his management. This was on purpose. He needs to be held accountable.
Right, more momentum. That's why 54% of the American people want mass deportation. That's what Tom Homan should keep in mind. Throw it out there. All the people that have been victims of these crimes. I watched Rachel Marin's mom yesterday with President Trump, and he said what a great. He looked me in the eye, and I knew I was very quiet when I first met him. I wanted to make sure it wasn't for politics, but I could see how he looked at me like a father and a grandfather. I feel like Tom Homan's acting the same way.
Yeah, he's doing the work too. He says that he will meet with anybody, Republican or Democrat. He already spoke to Eric Adams, and you can guarantee that they are going to have a plan in place come January 20th. And during Trump's speech yesterday in Arizona, he said by 2 p.m. on January 20th, the border is going to be a much different situation.
Well, think about the upgrade at border czar. From Kamala Harris to Tom Homan, someone who doesn't care at all or worse, to someone who cares in his bones and has for years and is going to be on this mission with a purpose.
Absolutely. All right, 15 minutes after the hour, let's talk about Democrats. And basically, they're trying to recalibrate, find out who their leader is, what their mission is, and what went wrong. So they sat down with 3 focus groups, and they came up with some interesting conclusions.
Yeah, that's right. So Politico has a headline saying, new research shows the massive hole Dems are in. Even voters who previously backed Democrats cast the party as weak and overly focused on diversity and elites.
No kidding.
Here's another quote. When asked to compare the Democratic Party to an animal, one participant compared the party to an ostrich because, quote, they've got their heads in the sand and are absolutely committed to their own ideas even when they're failing. Another likened them to koalas who are complacent and lazy about getting policy wins that we really need. Democrats, another said, are not a friend of the working class anymore. Can you believe what I just read?
I know.
The animals? That is so funny, and something like that is going to stick. And you're hearing it from inside the Democratic Party as well as outside, but there is clear frustration. Wall Street Journal also has another article about how this is a moment of chaos, obviously, for the Democrat Party because they don't have a message or a clear messenger. I mean, who's going to take the helm? Who's going to be the next leader of the Democrat Party? Maybe Hakeem Jeffries, but if so, he certainly needs to increase his name recognition.
Well, I think we're going to see something of a civil war within the party over these next couple of years because you have Democrats who are a little bit more pragmatic, at least one want to win elections, seeing all this and saying, we got to cool it on some of this crazy identity stuff, some of the gender politics. We've gone way too far out on the left, but there is an entrenched, powerful, loud activist class that's like the beating heart of that party, and they're not going to just sit there and take it, right? They're going to fight on this stuff.
You know, I love what you said in the first hour, too, about the word MAGA. The MAGA, you tried to label it as a negative situation, but people don't look at it that way. You drive down, you drive through Pennsylvania, Fetterman referenced it, I have them all over Long Island. There's Trump stores that say MAGA. So you're trying to disparage people by giving them a label that they embrace. So maybe you want to think twice. They say there's three things. Some Democrats blame Biden, others blame inflation, and others blame a losing hold of culture. And I'll do something else. The subtitle of all this is every single one of the people that covered for Joe Biden, who was barely in office, was a shell of what he was and what people thought when they elected him. He wasn't doing anything. The cataclysmic decisions, the brushback, pushback, and blasting of anyone that said, why does Joe Biden not speak to anyone? Why doesn't he confer with anybody in the Senate or the House, or even give interviews with friendly outlets for 4 years? He wasn't there. So that's the problem. He wasn't a bad leader. He was a bad leader. 34% approval rating right now. At least the American people think so. He was a non-leader.
No cabinet meetings. They hired a speech coach.
9 in 4 years.
They were trying to cover.
Just missing.
They were trying to cover for him the whole time.
And the other thing is, when we, on this network and elsewhere, just noticed things with our eyes and ears and observed the president doing
shuffle,
things,
the vacant stare,
all of it, we would point it out, and then the White House came out and said it's a cheap fake.
Yeah.
We're the liars. And then that whole thing blew up on the debate stage June 27th. And I think a lot of voters who weren't really sure about how to react to all this, once that whole thing fell apart in front of their eyes, 70 million people tuned in for that, they're like, oh, so they were lying aggressively to us, obviously. Maybe the cheap fakers have a point, right? And the rest is history.
That's right. I mean, I remember when it was reported and true that when he was walking from the White House to the plane to Air Force One, they were going to encircle him with people to try and protect him, and then he would go up this small set of stairs. By the way, before we get to headlines, you said that you liked something that Guy Benson said in the 6 o'clock hour. Did you like anything that I said?
Give me a second.
All right, I'm going to read this. I'll give you some time.
No, I liked everything that you said.
Good save.
So Good stuff.
That was smooth. The only thing I liked of what Guy said.
No, I didn't mean that. I didn't want that to happen. All right, we got some more news to get to happening today. Sources tell Fox News that the House Ethics Committee report on former Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz is set to be released. The committee has been investigating the now former congressman for years for allegations including sex trafficking, drug use, and accepting bribes, all of which he denies. Gaetz withdrew his name from consideration for President-elect Trump's Attorney General last month, saying he didn't want to become a distraction for the incoming administration. Just 2 days before Christmas, and Amazon workers remain on the picket line this morning as another facility, this time a warehouse in Queens, New York, just joined the strike. Here's a look at all the facilities being affected as the strike enters its 5th day. Logistics experts are warning that several holiday shipments could face lengthy delays as a result. Emergency rescuers at one Colorado ski resort after a ski lift got stuck in the air. A total of 174 skiers and snowboarders were rescued after that lift cracked in cold temperatures and thankfully automatically shut down. It took workers over 5 hours to get everyone down one by one using a seat attached to a rope. Thankfully, nobody was hurt. Officials say they are still investigating. And listen to this. Actor and director Denzel Washington has received his minister's license after being baptized in New York City over the weekend. It comes as Washington has recently complained about how you, quote, can't talk about religion in Hollywood. The award-winning actor saying, quote, if God can do this for me, there's nothing he can't do for you. The sky literally is the limit. And those are your headlines. What a wonderful message, and amazing that he became a minister.
Especially at Christmas, right? It's like beautiful.
Yeah, that's right. Go ahead.
I know he's doing some interviews now because it came out with that sequel to Gladiator. But I was shocked at, he intimates that he was not the best person earlier in his life. I didn't even know that. I mean, to me, this guy's been an iconic actor. Everyone's looked up to him for the longest time. I think he's holding himself to another standard. A standard the American public already looked at him as generational talent, right? Great in everything he's in.
Well, he might just recognize biblically all have sinned, fallen short of the glory of God, including Denzel Washington. He's like, hey, I'm right there with you. And just sending that message to the people of this country right around Christmas, I think it's wonderful.
Yeah, and he said that you can't talk about religion in Hollywood, and I think he brings up a good point, which is why there have been really successful religious movies that have been made by smaller studios. I mean, we have Fox Nation The Saints, which is very well done and has been hugely successful. And then the other movies,
the Christmas pageant, right? There's a new one that
about
apparently is really
life, good, and the Hallow app that Mark Wahlberg supports. So there are people in Hollywood, many people in Hollywood, who believe in God.
I think that whole
they're showing it more now.
Carly, I think the whole feeling that the religious movies are niche is over because people are desperate to find a winning genre, and the Marvel thing is even running out of juice. But you know what is not is those morally themed movies, many of which, the number one Christmas movie in the country right now is this guy who produced The Chosen.
Yeah.
So I do think things are changing. If for no other reason, forget about religion. It's working. So people are going to the movies, and Hollywood, if they are in the business, if they want to stay in the business some way, shape, or form, they'll embrace it.
It's a good change.
Totally, if not for any other reason than money, right?
I'm just saying.
Profits, right? And other good reasons.
All right, another reason to let, by the way, he does great work for the Boys and Girls Club. He said saved him as a kid. Meanwhile, straight ahead, West Virginia Independent Senator Joe Manchin torches Democrats on the way out the door.
The brand has been so maligned from the standpoint of it's toxic.
This came out yesterday, but Nathan Wade admits to coordinating with the White House in Georgia prosecution of Donald Trump.
Georgia prosecutor in the Trump election meddling case testifies before the House Judiciary Committee. That's Nathan Wade, and he admitted he met with White House staff on several occasions while working on the investigation that was led by Fulton County DA Fonnie Willis. He also says he had to brush up on his knowledge of racketeering law. So that continued.
Yeah, what I told you, I said the main problem is going to be the conspiracy situation for this bunch, because even if it's a legal act done in a legal fashion, if you conspire to do it, that's a felony. So he met with, so that implicates everybody in the White House. I imagine what might be happening is that there is a plea agreement being struck between the feds and him where he gives testimony against the Biden White House, Harris, and all of the rest of the bunch, and the Attorney General for conspiracy. So he will be allowed to plead guilty to something with a lesser cap than what the rest of the people would be facing. Interesting.
But I also think that, they are planning how to save their ass. So it's not like he's throwing her under the bus I don't think he's throwing her under the bus. I think he's
throwing her under the bus.
I think it's part of their plan.
See, but the federal system is draconian. It's not. There is no good way to get through it, even if you're acquitted.
You have a message.
It is a dangerous system. It's not what is intended by our set of laws. And I warned the public over and over again about how far it's gone down the rabbit hole. It is not like a state prosecution. It's persecution, and it's within the exclusive discretion of the U.S. attorney, because the federal grand juries are essentially rubber stamps. And anytime they convene a grand jury and they present their one-sided case, that's going to result in a horror for somebody, particularly a really innocent person who doesn't even know where to start defending the case because there are no clues the feds don't give them, which, by the way, makes what they did up in New York with the mayor and what they did with Trump up there, not Trump, Diddy up there in New York, very suspect, because usually you'd get 2 paragraphs, but you got 14 pages on a 3-count indictment and 57 pages on a 4-count indictment, which they never ever know how no way do. So they're trying to do PR and do a persecution, but it backfired because their little freak casting couch lady didn't make it.
Right. Well, so this was some breaking news, right? That came out a couple days ago. Fannie Willis bombshell whistleblower exposes Bill Barr as mastermind behind Fannie Willis RICO case against Trump. So it says
that's conspiracy if the facts are proved.
Yeah, so in a shocking turn of events, whistleblower Patricia Louise Baldwin has come forward with explosive allegations against Bill Barr and Fannie Willis. Baldwin, a Brazilian native with a storied career in politics, including work in the Brazilian Congress, has provided audio recorded testimony that exposes Barr as the architect of the Fulton County RICO with Fannie Willis. This testimony, rich with claims of secret meetings and strategic legal maneuvers, suggests a level of coordination between Barr and Willis that has not been previously acknowledged.
But it's very highly suspected. I certainly have been thinking about it for a long time. It's pretty obvious if you were experienced with such things, what you're looking at. So, as I said, I've never seen a dumber stunt in my entire 50-year-long career than what Fannie Willis pulled off. That was the dumbest stunt I've ever seen. It takes my first place now for dumb, crook, and Fifth Amendment.
So it said this woman, Baldwin, the audio testimony recorded with Baldwin's husband reveals that Patricia is the primary source of the information, with her husband contributing additional knowledge. Patricia claims to have all the necessary evidence, documents, photos, and other receipts to substantiate her claims. In full disclosure, the couple also admits to being recently targeted and indicted on a wire fraud charges. Who was Bill Barr again?
With the Attorney General's office.
Under Biden. Right. So they're saying that her testimony is damning. She asserts that Bill Barr was deeply involved in orchestrating RICO charges against President Trump, which will explain the meetings and the visits to Vice President Kamala Harris' residence in office and the White House when they...
It's a conspiracy. And all that needs to be done is any one of the conspirators commit an overt act, and all of them are brought up into it.
Right.
I said, if it weren't for the fact that it would be a conspiracy, it can be committed by doing a legal thing in a legal fashion. In other words, you can do something legal. Like there's nothing wrong with you raising the prices of your product in your retail store. That's your business as a businessman, right?
Right.
But if you and 10 other businessmen decide to get together and conspire to raise your prices or to drop your prices to drive an 11th individual out of business, then that's a conspiracy and becomes illegal. Aside from violating antitrust situations too.
Well,
lowering prices is certainly not against the law for a merchant to drop his prices. But if he drops it because he's agreeing with other merchants to drop the prices to run another third-party merchant out of business, that's a conspiracy and it's criminal.
Well, I think also that they both are trying to speed up to get whatever conviction or punishment from Congress or whoever so that Biden can pardon both of them, Nathan Wade And
he doesn't have to wait until they get indicted. He can give them a blanket pardon up front.
Oh, he can.
Yeah. Obama did that with 23 British petroleum executives who looked like they were about to be in big trouble for that Gulf oil rig blowout down in the Gulf that caused all those billions of dollars worth of damage.
Oh, so then why don't he just, maybe he's going to do it in January right before.
That assumes he's astute enough to do it, and that assumes that it is as it appears to be.
Now,
the question comes into, remember, who's going to pardon him? And then it would be one hell of a stink if he pardoned the vice president, or, like, wow, this chick was pro candidate for U.S. president.
Why would he have to pardon the vice president?
But she's the one that had the meetings. It was the
So she would get in trouble too?
She's a head conspirator.
Okay, so, God. All right.
If they, in other words, if some people said we're going to get Trump, let us plan and plot on how we're going to get them.
Mm-hmm.
So the crucial thing is, let's get Trump. That's the objective. If somebody says we're going to crack down on crime, and you uniformly crack down on all crime, and the former president got caught up in it, that's one thing. But if you say we're going to get him convicted of a crime, we know he must have done something, we will make sure he doesn't win. Well, that's the object of the conspiracy. So as soon as they start meeting to bring that about, I don't care what they do, they're committing a felony, even if what they decide to do is otherwise legal.
So a VP, while they're in office, can be brought up on charges
of conspiracy. Yeah, to violate.
They don't get immunity. Only the president.
No, the president doesn't get immunity for that either.
Oh.
That's what they were after Nixon on. That's what the whole doggone thing was about with Watergate. He sat there and conspired to burglarize the Democratic Party headquarters and plant listening devices so there could be a campaign advantage.
And it backfired.
So then Joe Biden, he should just give an open pardon to Kamala, Fannie, Nathan. But how does that look? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. That's the problem. It looks pretty nasty, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Pretty pardon his little crackhead son.
Right.
Even Clinton didn't pardon his brother.
What did Clinton brother do?
Remember that there was a scandal involving some con game that was going on that his brother was caught up in. Even Clinton didn't pardon his brother.
His brother went to prison?
I don't know what ultimately happened on it, but I don't really care, but yeah.
Well, I don't know. To me, Fannie Willis, God.
The reason they have that power is
with her.
Supposing that there's a war going on or one about to occur, so your CIA operative does something.
Mm-hmm.
The United States doesn't excuse that under its laws. It's still a murder, it's still a burglary, it's still arson, it's still sabotage, whatever it may be, but the president could pardon this guy because it might be in the national interest. So because of a lot of things, you don't have him required to justify a pardon. It can be for any reason that he chooses.
Well, speaking of pardons, victims shocked after Biden grants clemency to Kids for Cash judge in $54 million embezzlement.
I know he's entitled to do it, but it's like, dude, you really crossed the line on that one.
Victims of a major public corruption cases in Pennsylvania and Illinois are angry that President Joe Biden granted clemency this week to 2 convicted officials.
Yeah. They need to be strung and quartered, hung and quartered or strong and quartered.
So it says the commutations were announced Thursday as part of a historic clemency package of 1,500 convicted criminals who the White House said deserve a second chance. Two of the convicted officials whose cases sparked outrage, crooked Pennsylvania judge and a notorious Illinois fraudster, both had already been released from prison early and put on house arrest during COVID-19 pandemic.
See, what they did was so horrible. They corrupted the justice system, and they were putting people in jail for personal profit.
Right, and kids at that, juveniles.
It's particularly horrid.
I have an idea for next year, but yes, that is crazy. And he gave them clemency. Now, what's the difference between clemency and pardon?
Pardon means you just wiped out. You're forgiven, you didn't do it, there's no conviction that stands. Clemency means, okay, you've been punished enough, that's the end of it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Time served. Clemency means you cut somebody some slack.
Fannie Willis says she's still going to go after the other 5 YSL members.
Yeah, she may be in jail before she gets to do that.
But my thing is,
she better back off.
Yeah.
Because the other thing is, she is refused to comply with this subpoena that the state legislative body have issued. And it's got to do with the expenditure of funds that they appropriated to her office. So we're talking about $10 million that disappeared. So where'd it go? And why don't you produce the records? And she's been ordered to produce those records. So let's see if she complies or she refuses. Now, one of the remedies that's available to the Georgia state legislature is as soon as they come back into session in a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, 2 weeks, they can have the sergeant at arms physically arrest her, handcuff her, and bring her in custody back before the committee. They can have a search warrant issued and served for probable cause that a crime is being committed, that is misappropriation of the public funds. They can go to a circuit court and demand compliance with their subpoenas. And they can retaliate legislatively, which is Fulton County got $10 million they didn't account for, so they get no more money, and the people will just get cut off, and it's their problem. They can suffer.
Right. So it says Fulton County District Attorney Fannie Willis said her office is helping to make our streets safer from gang violence.
Oh, crap. She wouldn't know what that was. She's too busy stealing public money, or what it looks like, going around styling and profiling, and got a narcissistic problem with herself.
Let me see this. This
300 convictions of known gang members. New at 6, Channel 2 investigative reporter Mark Winnie spoke exclusively.
Richard. What? horse is a pain in the fucking ass, man. I'm telling you. God, my goddamn nerve. His faggy ass Mercedes, man. All right, we'll be